What's up, friends? Today we're here with the rev boards again, but today we're doing a range test. I have no clue how long this video is going to be. I'm just going to cut it up into whatever makes sense, but these boards have an enormous battery at 21S 6P of Samsung 50S cells. You know what that means? 2.6 kilowatt hours of energy. Something that's going to take a long time to discharge. I'm currently estimating probably around 7 laps of my range testing route, which is around 7 miles. So you average that out to about 50-ish miles. We're gonna be on the boards for a while. I'm here with my friend Gialong. I'll put his on screen. He is a fellow racer in the pro series of EC8 racing. And we're gonna be testing these things out. I'm not gonna record anything for our first lap because honestly, who cares about the first lap? They're gonna do the same thing for at least 4 laps in a row. So we'll do our first lap. We'll get some first impressions from Gialong, and then we'll continue on and check in every lap, see what battery percentage we're at, and at the end of this ride, hopefully both boards will be completely dead. All right, so we did our first lap. I have my funny microphone on my helmet on the rev boards, and it was 7.5 miles total, and we're both at pretty much exactly 4.08 per cell. I'll put like a visual on the screen of what percentage equals what voltage, but that's somewhere around 90%. So we've done around 7.5 miles on about 10% battery. So we'll see how much range we get, but we're gonna go over some first impressions as we ride here and talk about the things that we've experienced on this first loop. Keep in mind, this is still pretty early for me in terms of riding miles on this board. So I'm still forming my opinions on the trucks and stability and speed and power and all that. So take everything with a slight grain of salt. Everything will be slightly different after you ride it for a longer period of time. So yeah. Right at the stop. What did you do?
42.6.
Oh my gosh.
I can go a lot more.
Yeah, see, I told you, this thing is so messed up. Mine thinks I was going 18 miles an hour though. There.
Yeah, no.
I don't understand why the settings are wrong. Listen, guys, this will not happen on the production ones. We're just gonna chalk this issue up to the settings in the remote being wrong. Don't worry about it. We have no idea how fast we're actually going. I just know how fast I'm supposed to be going based on feel. I've done this route so many times. I know exactly what 20 miles an hour feels like. And I can tell you right now, this is not 13 miles an hour. Anyway, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. All right, so we're here about halfway through our second loop, and we stopped to talk about Gia's first experience on this board, and we have some thoughts about it so far, and he can tell you how fast he's gone so far and what that feels like and all that. For me, first off, I'm still not convinced of the high speed stability on these trucks yet. I think we're getting there. I think it's mostly a skill thing. It's going to take a lot more miles for me to get comfortable over 30 on these, but that's just me. I think the tightness of the bushings matters quite a lot on these trucks because the trucks are super wide. So what you end up with is a lot of like force on the bushing, and I think you really need to spend some time to tune in exactly how tight you want that to be. But Gialong, how's your first ride experience been so far? What do you think about the board?
The first 7 laps, is me still dialing on this board, but after that, I feel a little bit more confident. Just needs time. It's a very unique board, unique truck, and I was able to. I just hit 42.6 miles an hour from the ride app, and
Yeah,
it didn't feel like 40. I thought I was going 35.
Yeah, so both of us have messed up remote calibrations right now. I tried fixing mine. I thought we were going a lot slower than we actually were. I checked our like average speed on the Strava app that I'm using for the range test, and it's where it needs to be, but the remote is hilariously wrong. So
Yeah, it's true.
that'll be fixed for the production version, I'm sure, but for whatever reason ours are messed up. So I'm just going off of feel right now, and hitting 42 sounds pretty crazy to me.
It's doable.
But I guess it's doable.
Yeah.
I just need to get better legs. But I think there might be a little bit of a difference between my board here on the larger tires and his board on the knobby ones. I think being a little closer to the ground and having a wider tire might give it a little bit more stability. Kind of hard to say for sure until we both ride each board.
Yeah.
But I think these wheels excel at being super stable and absorbing a lot of bumps. Those ones definitely will have way more grip off-road if you chose to take this board off-road. But in any case, it's been a pretty fun first lap and a half. I'll do a battery check real quick. I don't think it's going to change much after half a lap.
Probably still 4 volts.
Yeah, probably still around 4. What do you think about this setup as a whole? Is this something you would want to ride? Like,
yes.
I know you had a dad bod for a while, right?
Yeah, I still ride that.
16S 9P RKP trucks, 7-inch tires, sort of a similar customer price range.
Yeah, it's like same class of these boards, and yeah, I can see myself really enjoy this, and yeah, that's of all the boards I've ridden, this feels super different, and
so the battery is still
at
at 4.07 volts per cell.
Just 100th down.
Yeah, we went down 100,000. So we're gonna keep riding. We need to get some more miles in, so I'm probably not gonna record much more on this next loop and a half, but
Still got long ways to go.
we have a long ways to go. Gia's doing a small circle test here on my board. He did one on his. The circle was pretty small, but not as small as you can get on this one. It may not look like that much, but for a board of this size, this is impressive. It's almost DKP levels of turning ability. Yeah, so you can see why that was able to do our short track. Not quite.
Wait. This is just a skill issue. Oh, I'm just spinning rocks. I think I'm going too slow.
We can smooth it out after.
I don't want to sink it and scratch the trucks. I need some momentum.
Yeah.
Getting on.
The only downside of that is if you get too deep, then you'll just get thrown.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Come on. All right.
Oh God. Wait, you got stuck on something?
Yep.
I think a rock got stuck in between the...
Not really.
Oh, okay, you're good. I think a rock just got stuck between the tire and the gear drive. They're still miles better than 8-inch skinny.
Definitely. Are you gonna, have you thought of taking this on trails, or that's gonna beat up the board too much?
Yeah, but I haven't yet. It looks like it's been on some.
Yeah.
I think it would do pretty well, but
I think so too.
I kind of want to do a ride at Penasquitos with this board. All right, so we just finished our second lap. We're not going to record anything for a little while now because we're currently at 4 volts per cell on his board and 4.03 on mine, which means that that entire lap, 7 miles, was done on what, 0.09 volts or something?
Yeah, around under.
It literally like nothing. It was ridiculous. But in any case, these things are still ripping. We've done 14.3 miles now, so let's keep on cranking. All right, I'm being lazy and I didn't put the mic on, but we just finished our 3rd lap, so we've done 20.9 miles approximately, and battery is sitting at 3.90 for my board per cell and about 3.85 per cell for his. He has been riding a little bit harder, not anything insane, but definitely enough to take off that little extra bit. Battery percent in VESC app said 66 for me. I don't know if you checked yours, but
You said 50.
it's probably like 55 or something. The Greer's
54.
54. So we still got quite a bit of range in the tank here, and having gone 20.9 miles, that's already past almost every other board that I've range tested, and we still have like almost 3/4 of the battery left, at least for me, almost, which is insane. So we'll check in again after maybe one more lap and then see where we're at. All right, so we just completed our 4th loop, and we're at 27.9 miles, and the chonker tire board is at about 3.75 volts per cell, and that one with the bigger street tires is at about 3.82. It's going down a shockingly small amount per loop, so we got some more distance to go. All right, so we just finished our 5th lap. We're at 34.6 miles, and my board is at 3.7 volts per cell. His is at 3.61. We're starting to see the end of the tunnel here. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to finish this test today, so it's been like 3 hours almost. Because once you average out the speed to keep around 15 average, it adds up. But in any case, they're doing great. We're gonna keep going and check back in another lap. Oh, also, we have started to experience a little bit of lost power. Pretty hilarious that it took 35 miles almost, which is basically double half the other boards I reviewed range to even feel voltage sag. But we do feel a little bit of loss of power. It's not bad though, there's still tons there, but worthy to note. All right, so we just finished our 6th lap.
Yep.
And well, there's still quite a bit of juice left in the boards. Mine is at 3.58 volts per cell. Is that 3.1 or 3.51?
4.8.
Oh, 3.48. So they've gotten pretty close together now. He's going to start hitting the normal VESC cutoff start, which means it starts reducing power, which makes sense because he has reduced power a decent bit. It's funny because the reduced power is still like most normal boards power, but this is the reduced version, so it's still perfectly rideable. You can still get over 30 miles an hour, even with 3.48 volts left. We have currently gone 41.2 miles, and I would expect my board to get at least 2 more laps, so probably 14 more miles before it conks out. The end of the voltage curve does drop off a little bit faster, but in any case, these things are still ripping. I actually have to cut it off for today, so I'm going to finish this tomorrow. But it's been a great ride so far, and I can't believe we're still going, to be honest. All right, so Gialong has to go, or we have to go for tonight. But he has some final thoughts about the board. This was his first time riding it. This is like my 3rd-ish time riding it. So he's going to give you guys some thoughts on his experience today.
Yeah, this is the board that I would love to own as my main high-speed, long cruising rides. And yeah, after 40 miles, my foot personally, no fatigues, it's not as tired as the other boards I've ridden, and very comfortable on the trucks. I would take this on the track, to be honest, and I love every components that's bringing me out on the ride, and yeah, the deck is the big highlight for sure, and yeah, having that huge battery allows me to have fun even on the low voltage setup. So yeah, I would put a lot of miles, and I would take these on easy rides, to be honest.
Yeah. Thanks for the input. I think he summarizes it pretty well. I think a lot of the same things about this board. This is finally a board that can replace the LaCroix Lone Star Super Sport. And honestly, I haven't done a range test with a board like that. I have to assume it would get pretty decent mileage as well, but considering LaCroix is not quite back yet, this is a great option that turns much better. To me, looks better, and I mean, you can't really argue with how awesome the Rexus remote is either. Did you like the Rexus remote?
At first, I'm a puck guy.
Yeah.
But after getting used to, I really love it.
Yeah, I think versus the puck, this has some similar characteristics because it has the metal thumb wheel on there.
No.
But the puck does definitely react differently, and I think the throttle curve on here is a little different than most VESC boards that I've ridden, but it has a really nice punch to it. And Gialong said it actually feels sort of similar to like the older Hobby Wing race ESCs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I say that because they were used on like Stooge boards, but yeah, they feel like what'd you say, the Max 4 sort of?
Yeah, like a Max 4, but much smoother feel.
Yeah, so like still punchy, but nice and smooth.
This setup is different than your board. So whatever
Yeah.
setup that Ethan did is pretty cool.
Yeah, so the setup across these two boards is slightly different. Besides the tires, I think the throttle curve is slightly different. Both of these are prototypes. You have to keep that in mind, but they should perform like the real thing. And in any case, I was happy to have Gialong along. It makes the ride a lot more interesting, especially for 40 miles. We've literally been out here for like over 4.5 hours.
4.5.
We stopped for lunch in the middle, but regardless, we've been riding for a long time. So we had fun. I will pick this back up tomorrow or whenever I finish recording it. Make sure it's at the same ending voltage. But yeah, thanks for coming along.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
Awesome time.
Oh, and follow him on Instagram. He's a great racer. I'll put it on screen.
_PVs.
Sweet. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Since Gialong is no longer in this video, here are his results. He ended up finishing it out
in a pretty speedy and heavy throttle set of riding, and completely killed it at about 49 miles. Really pretty impressive considering how hard he rode during the ride and that he was on the less efficient wide tires. All right, y'all, we're here today for the final stint of our Rev Phantom X range test. And if you're wondering why I'm not wearing any gear, it's because it is literally 82 degrees and 70% humidity right now. It has just recently rained, so yeah, we're just gonna be careful. I do still have my knee pads and gloves and helmet on, of course, but no Kevlar today because I think I would be sweating like crazy. Anyway, we're starting today's ride at 72 volts. Between the last clip and now, I rode a bit of this loop and got it from 3.55 volts down to 3.42 per cell. And now we're going to be riding out the rest of the range. So I looked at the cutoffs in VESC tool, and it looks like it said 67.2 cutoff start and then 63 volt cutoff end. Pretty wide cutoff range, but the part between cutoff start and end is not going to be very useful. It'll all be super low speed, but yeah, so we're still at 72 volts and we got 5 volts before cutoff start. So I'm thinking we're getting at least one more lap out of this. Also for reference, the miles that I rode in between last checkup on this one, it was about 6.5 or something like that. So we're at a total of 49 miles. Insane. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep riding and I'll check in with you guys as I go. The only thing I've noticed so far is that there is a little bit less power, understandably, since we're getting close to the bottom of the voltage range. We're at 2 bars on the remote, but I don't usually go by remote bars. I try to go by the voltage because it's a little bit more accurate. But anyway, I'll catch up with you guys when something interesting happens. All right, so we got our first warning just now, 4 miles in. So that puts us at 53 miles. We got board power low, warning number 1, which I think is just saying that you're at 1 bar of power left out of the, what is it, 5? Yeah. So we're getting there. I think it will make this whole loop though, no problem. Still no issue at all going up the other side of rolling resistance hill. We're cooking at probably 19, 20 right now. Oh, okay, I can feel it. That's max throttle. We're finally seeing the effects of the death. I think this is because the cells are starting to really sag down at that low voltage. We'll definitely make it up though, and probably the entire rest of the route, but if it comes down to it, I'll be doing loops in the local area close to my end point because I cannot fathom putting this 61-pound board on my back. I did bring this just in case, but certainly not what I want to do. All right, so we're 5.2 miles in, which makes it like 54 miles, and we're at 66.5 volts. So we've entered the cutoff range. We still have a little bit till we get to the end, and cutoff end on VESC is where things really drop off a cliff. I can tell the power is limited now, probably around 18 to 20 miles an hour, and not very much amps. So we're gonna cruise it out and see if we can make it all the way back. All right, we're now at board power low number 2. There are currently no bars showing on the screen. And we're at 65.5 volts and 6.6 miles. So around 55 miles. We're getting real close. All right, the end is pretty much here. We're going around 10 miles an hour, and we've gone past battery voltage warning 2, and now I'm just trying to see how much longer it is before it literally stops moving. What I've found with VESC boards is that it tends to limit the total available current, which translates to power more than speed. So once you start feeling like the lack of a real oomph, that's when you really need to be thinking about being home. As far as speed goes, if you're on a flat, you can still go pretty fast, but you know, you can't always be super predictable. So I think we're around 65 volts. There's still like 1.5 volts left. Out of a big battery like this that charges to like 90 something, that's not that much. So definitely pushing it here to get you guys an accurate number of how far we can go. And I'm not going to go all the way back around my loop because I need to get back to my end point, or my start point rather. But we're pretty close and it's all flat. So I'll catch back with you guys when we're at 3 miles an hour as per my rule. We're almost there. I think we're about 6 miles an hour right now. But if there's any hill, we're done. Fortunately, there's not, but we're basically there. All right, boys. I'm gonna call it there. We're somewhere between 3 and 5 miles an hour, but this is a good spot to record an outro, so we're just gonna finish here. It's not really useful at this speed anyway. All right, well, our journey with the Rev Phantom X is finally over. Man, this was a lot of riding. I don't honestly know any situation where I would actually do this amount of miles, but I guess that's just because I don't do EUC level group rides. But anyway, we're done riding. We ended up with a total of 57.17 miles, so about 57. You might be able to eke it out to 57.5 with this last like half a volt of leftover battery, but we're sitting at around 64 volts right now, and in the BMS app we're at around 3.07 volts per cell, so you could definitely push that all the way to 3 volts per cell, which I believe is where you get that that 63 number. 63 divided by 21, yeah, 3 volts exactly. So that's pretty much what I would set my cutoffs to. 3.4 start, 3.0 end. But man, 57 miles, that is impressive for sure. And honestly, the last bit of the riding experience I would describe as once you get to battery warning number 1, which is 1 bar left, you better be thinking about where your home is or where your car is. And once you get to battery warning 2, you better be close to your car because you're going to be going real slow for that last bit. But amazing experience with the Rev Phantom X so far. I know this video is going to be long, but hopefully you guys will find it interesting. Most people don't go through all this effort to fully range test these things, so hopefully you guys appreciate that. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see anything else with the Phantom X. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, keep on riding, and peace out. I did end up running it fully dead. I'll put the final number on the screen after this. But this is, that's max throttle. We're probably like, I don't know, a couple 100 feet away from where I recorded that last clip, so couldn't really have planned this much better. Well, we are now here with the data, and this is the summary of my Strava tracks that I did over these set of rides. Now, the total came out to 57.6 miles, including that last bit that ran the battery all the way down to 3 volts per cell. And there was a total of about 2,300 feet of elevation gain throughout the entire ride. That's going up and down that hill multiple times. Now, it's worth saying, of course, you would get a lot more range
if you didn't have this large amount of elevation gain, or if you were a lighter rider than me. I'm about 185-ish pounds without gear. So if you're lighter, or if you have a lot more flat surface, you'll probably get a lot closer to the manufacturer range of about 75 miles.
I want to say it was somewhere around 8 laps or 9 laps by the end of it. Pretty crazy. I think I estimated around 50 miles at the beginning of the ride, and we got more than that, so pretty sweet. When we got down to 3.4 volts per cell, I was pretty sure I would get stuck halfway around the loop, but it made it all the way back, and I managed to time it perfectly, arriving at my end point right at the time when the battery completely went out. So pretty sweet. You can buy this board today. Literally just go to the Rev website and make a purchase. It is pretty expensive, but as this has hopefully shown you, it has an industry leading amount of range, and despite this not making the company's claimed range of 75 miles, this is somewhat of a more realistic use case with some elevation gain, some higher average speeds, and a 180 plus pound rider. So that's what you get for the range test, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Stay safe, keep on riding, and peace out.